Group of soldiers talking loudly, laughing joyfully, and passing around a flask. So picture this. My sword is by the fire. There's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through my tent. And I sat in the bushes, wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go into the bushes without my sword. So what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know. So they all went wild and started running around. I spot my sword and they spot me. So I jump over to the fire wearing nothing but my mail shirt, and I grab my sword and yell in a big, tough voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the strength to crush these filthy creatures." My sword's shining, the goblins are screaming. I jump to attack them and they fight back, but I fought them off somehow. But ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. Some story. Hey, stop gulping. Leave some for us. Only just set off and you're already drinking? With the queen in the camp? Stop this at once. Right you are, Commander. But we are drinking to the queen's health. Give me a sip too. To Her Majesty's health. Commander, are you sure this is the right way to train your soldiers? Never mind. It's your business. We have a Cyclops. Grandma. The actors. Good afternoon, your Commanderness. You remember us? We're the crew from the next door theater company, the one you saved in Canabras, back when you weren't the Commanderness yet. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up a theater is expensive, so we'll all have to take side jobs. But we won't stop what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find people to play the hordes of demons. And we decided against using a ritual to summon real demons. Luckily, we have Master Kima. He's invented a way to solve this problem using sound. We caught a pig and some piglets who ran away from a burnt-out village. We put the piglets in a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is just like an approaching demon horde. The most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the Great Knight Commander. We had a right Barney over it, breaking a number of lances as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have 2 candidates that are most suited for the role. One will have the honor of conveying your heroism upon the stage, Commander. Don't you have any other actors who even vaguely resembles me? We're a small and poorly funded theater. We only have a few actors, but they're all so talented, one of a kind. I've chosen the ones that are best fit for your role. Trust my vision. I have more than a few successful plays under my belt. Is this sweet half-elf candidate for my role? Of course. Lily is most impressed with you and wants the role very, very much. Differences in appearance don't matter. She's a wonderful dancer, which will allow us to introduce elements of ballet into the play. A Cyclops actor? He's completely tame, believe me. Has a few issues with articulation, but what a powerful physique. We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair. Truth be told, in our show, you mainly just make a short, heroic exclamations at the fateful moment, like, "Onward, we'll never give up," or "My heart burns with courage." Lambkin can definitely handle the script. Okay. Wonderful. Sorry we took you away from all the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to rehearsal. I mean, we'll wash some pots. Then we're off to rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old grandma now. Plan.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Onward. You gotta loot your camp. Can't leave any loot behind.
Let's see what we can do.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is Nura de Windar's tent. She seems brought a lot of unnecessary items along with her. How are books unnecessary? Scrolls aren't unnecessary. I think we need to be turned the other way, actually. I'm all turned around now. Okay. Free money. Wasn't your group bigger yesterday? Well, yeah, I mean, this is when you're in like a safe area, you just show yourself. Our party is spread throughout the camp here. Okay. Okay, we've been in there. Don't think we've been in there. This is mine and Anivia's tent. We're both used to traveling. The Queen insisted on our tent being furnished like a commanding officer's. This massive bed is clean and neatly made. Only commanding officers are allowed such luxury during marches. Oh, there was something else on an armor stand. Magic armor. Okay. Commander's tent. Chapel tent we've been. Field medic. Alright, time for the commander's tent. Actually, first. I need to level and mythic level these people. Give him more HP. Blur. Command pit. Or conjure create pit. Blindness. Glitter dust. Really don't care about leveling her. I'm not going to use her unless I have to. Create an area of healing mud. Interesting. All right, that's everybody. For now, at least. little more HP. You don't need anything. Okay. I think we can sell everything else. Here. Okay. Where was the storyteller? Remember who he was standing next to? Was that Ember? Ember. It wasn't her. Here he is. Ninio. Restore this relic for me. The Covenant of the Inheritor is the name of this relic. This buckle once adorned the belt of a glorious knight from Mendev. It is the embodiment of a promise made to a young girl by a powerful deity. A great promise that has changed much in the world. Covenant of the Inheritor. When you touch the restored relic, a strange vision comes to you. It's as if you can see the events that happened to it in the past. A burning sensation spreads across your chest from the very spot where your mysterious wound sometimes open. What is this? The influence of the storyteller's spells? Or is it something else? I had a vision. How strange. You're a remarkable mortal. No one has ever shared my visions before. What do you think caused it? Perhaps these things have something to do with your destiny, or the fate of someone related to you. I do not have an answer, only advice. Seek out such relics. Look for what links them all, and you will know the truth. Okay. So we got a relic. But where is it? There it is. The symbol of Iomedae, when placed on the belt, emits a holy aura. All party members in 30 feet get a +2 bonus to caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. The weapons become good aligned and count as if they were made of cold iron. Okay, now it's time to go to the commander's tent. Or shit to loot and sell. Okay, so let's have a look at our books before we store them all. Wish there was a way to signify ones that we've already read. I think we've read that one before. Adventures of Fearless Crusader Briggy the Sausage Maker. What the hell? Let's go sell our inventory yet again. To 32,000. Nice.
Let's see what we can do.
right, let's talk to the queen. Queen greets you with a stare. She has dropped the pompous air which she had just announced the Fifth Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She has made her move and now awaits her opponent's reply.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds.
Okay.
I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomedae herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation.
Okay.
A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Bainik. One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomedae also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
You heard of him.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
He's going to ask us about Holrun.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a
It's the new
ballad.
Lindsay.
There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons. I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it.
Wow.
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
Of course.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, his trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
We met at the Defender's Heart. I never imagined you'd make me commander of the new crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme. And beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it.
Okay.
However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the Crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
I have some questions about my mission to retake Dresden.
Of course, I shall answer.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader,
Shinobi.
staunch in vain, that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He
Thank you
went
for the
on a
20 months,
daring
my
and
dude.
unapproved raid.
How you doing today?
And the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
One plot hole I'm noticing with this. They're saying that Dresden fell because the Sword of Valor was taken out by Staunton Vane to Monago. That allowed the demons to teleport into the fortress. But if the Sword of Valor is inside the Dresden where we're going, it doesn't make sense that it's still there. I mean, I guess they can just open the gates for their demon friends to come in, but still. Just in time for an audience with the Queen, yes. How you doing, Ridian? Staunton Vane. I saw him at the Grey Garrison. He defected to the demon side.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it. In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting.
Doing all right. Doing all right. Still recovering from the liver and onions yesterday.
I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
Should have exiled him. Let him go wherever he wanted. That way he could either change his life for the better or realize he had no one to blame but himself.
Perhaps exile would have been a more merciful sentence than decades of service among those who despised him. I was hoping he might atone for his guilt with a heroic act, but he likely decided that atonement was impossible, and he might as well give himself over to evil.
Was it raw liver? Oh, it was these bean boozled jelly beans for the charity drive. Has a wheel spinner, and it can be either a good flavored jelly bean or a nasty flavored one. And that one could have been cappuccino or liver and onions flavored, and it was absolutely disgusting. Yeah, we got 3 gross ones yesterday. It was liver and onions, rotten egg, and old bandage. Well, I've never had liver and onions as a meal. If that's what it tastes like, I never want it. What forces are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Nerosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit. These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden.
Yeah, the bandage was
You
bad.
will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
It's been decades, and no one has managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demon's plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
What about long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the whirlwind forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. there are a few planar rifts leading to the abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed.
I think the storyteller is going to be key in closing those.
The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the World Wound.
Mages.
So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold, the very threshold of the abyss. Wonderful.
Did you know that the soul of angels from heaven are confined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first wardstone in Canopris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works. Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the Wardstone in Canopris and were able to save this gift of Iomede. It was a deed worthy of a knight commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Show the covenant of the Inheritor. You remember this?
Get this. I thought this relic was destroyed many years ago. How strange it is to see it whole again. At one time, it gave me hope. I am pleased that this object will serve the Crusade once more.
Had a vision of Iomede giving her covenant to you.
I was young and did not fully understand the magnitude of the duty that had been entrusted to me. Iomede gave me hope and strength to see me through the trials ahead, and in so doing, she won my everlasting loyalty.
Do you still remember the oath you swore in battle?
Always. No matter how arduous, no matter how dark the skies, no matter how much blood flows from my wounds, I shall stand with you. We shall fight for our loved ones and our friends, for the right to live and die free. We shall do everything we possibly can, and after that, we shall begin to do the impossible. And if the hour should come when our arms can no longer raise our swords, our bodies will become a shield to cover those who still have strength to fight. I, Golfrey, Queen of Mendev, swear this to you. This is my vow.
You would have still stood a blow from Marilu Vorlish in that battle.
I would proudly declare that to be true, and say that even Aurilu Vorlish could not kill me on her first attempt. But to do so would be boasting. I was protected by my goddess. However, I was glad to see that, no matter how great the betrayer of humanity's power, it is nothing as compared to Iomede's might.
I would like to keep wearing this relic.
Then so you shall. What matters is that the covenant of the Inheritor has been recovered. Perhaps it should be in your hands now, because you have greater need of it. But should you ever feel that you no longer need this relic, I ask that you give it to me. I would be delighted to touch it again.
You should know, I received an unusual gift in the caves beneath Canabris. In a vision, I saw the death of the angel called Lariel. Somehow, he was able to grant me the power to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the World Wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel, even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on this special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory.
Saying you don't
we rushed
now?
headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
And what are you going to do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
My queen asks you to remain with us. The Dresden campaign is the hope of the Crusade. The blessing of Iomade that you carry may be decisive in this battle.
What is this I hear? A polite attempt to appeal to the conscience of an old sovereign? I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear.
Okay.
I am a warrior queen and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the Crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards.
Okay.
We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito.
Oh, great.
Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle.
She's
Let
making
it
a
be
debacle,
surprise for the
like
demons. I hope you
making
won't
a show
complain
of
of my
this.
company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it.
But
Do you have any other questions?
sounds like she's joining the party.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable.
Oh?
Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
Fucking titles.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
What a wonderful gesture, Your Majesty. Imagine our dear Count would have been inconsolable if you haven't given him this chance to serve the common cause.
I knew you would approve, Commander. I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the Commander may remove you from your post. But I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself.
Damn right he will.
Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the Crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Then let's get going. May Iomade help us.
Okay, so we're not losing our Billbot. That's good. Okay. So tell me straight, how'd that brawl at the Grey Garrison end? Heard the rumors, of course. That's kind of my job, you know, to listen. You've no idea what the cobblers and the crusaders say about you. Some say that Iomade came to you and pointed you her herald. Others say you died, and an honest-to-God's angel is now leading the army disguised as you. Still, others say it was just an explosion at an alchemist's lab, and I'm the one spreading rumors about your powers. I wish. You know, you really have changed since the Great Garrison. It's hard to describe, but you've become kind of more dangerous. Yeah, exactly. More dangerous. I have a gut instinct about these things. If I didn't, I'd already be dead. You're dangerous, Commander, and by Desna, I hope you'll be dangerous to our enemies and not to us, or yourself. Okay. Wait. Okay. Who are these people? Cleric? Okay. Let's see. An extra magic missile. Blindness. Magical investment. Call lightning. And remove blindness. Okay. Okay, next. So Darth Gnome, is this the person you were... I don't think this is the person you were talking about that you replaced Sela with, right? Not him? Okay. So I haven't gotten to the person that you're talking about. There is another. All right, Yoda. Makes me wonder how this cleric stands up against Darren. I mean, we've got a paladin, a cleric, an oracle. It's a bit overkill on the. We are facing demons, so kind of makes sense, I guess. Okay. More of a classic cleric. Yeah. Commander, allow me to say something. Before you, this wasn't a war. It was agony drawn out over decades. No one believed in the victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, for some it was a relief. At least the end had come. They had laid down their weapons and surrendered without a fight. I felt the same thing, but somehow I got through it on stubbornness and the vague hope that if nobody found Anivia's body, she might, by some miracle, have survived. And that miracle was you. You returned my beloved to me when I had nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on a suicide mission to the Grey Garrison and won the city back for us. You turned a defeat into victory. I know it wasn't easy, but you make everything seem so effortless. Everything you do everything just like that. The Queen believes in your powers too, but for me, they're just more proof of what I'd felt that day when I saw Anivia alive, standing next to you. You're the miracle we've been waiting for. You're the one who will finally put an end to this terrible war, and in spite of everything, deliver us the victory we so desperately need. With you, I'm sure this crusade will achieve what the others could not. It's already got an investment in glaives. Well, good. We held on to a glaive. Found a scabbard with your family name on it in the Grey Garrison. This scabbard held the solemn hour, my family's sword. My father once fought with it, and I took it when I left home to become a paladin. Alas, it was not stolen. I parted with my heirloom willingly to help someone dear to me. Nevia needed expensive healing, and having no other way to procure the money, I pawned my father's sword. I think he would have understood. I'm sure he would have given up everything to help the family. I hoped to redeem the solemn hour eventually, but there was never enough money, and soon the sword disappeared from the pawn shop altogether. I have no idea who took it. Seems like I have to part with my father's sword forever. Is she sick? You'll forgive me if I don't go into detail. It's a private matter. She has herpes. I got it. Suffice it to say, everything is fine now. The treatment was costly, but it was worth it. You had the Order's coffers at your disposal. How can you even suggest that? My parents were loyal servants, yet it wasn't enough to earn them a title or a coat of arms. Still, however humble our name might be, it was worth something. I don't know if I'll ever see the solemn hour again, but at least I have its scabbard back. Thank you. So it turns out the Queen has her head of counterintelligence watching me. I wonder why. You think the Queen doesn't trust you? If that were true, she wouldn't have put you in charge of this army. My main task is to be your advisor until you've gained enough experience as a commander. As for counterintelligence, Anivia and I were tasked with keeping an eye on your inner circle. But you're not under suspicion, Commander. You're under our protection. We need reinforcements. Can you get us more soldiers? When we began the march on Dresden, we chose speed over numbers. If I order more volunteers to be recruited, they'll simply won't arrive in time. We could pay mages to deliver the troops to the camp, except I doubt our army's coffers could afford it. If you can spare 7,500 gold coins, I'll see to our reinforcements. Oof. You have your orders. Consider it done. hard to believe your origin is so humble. You deserve a noble title more than many who merit them. Thank you, Commander. It's an honor to hear that, especially from you. Every noble family begins somewhere. You must have heard the recent story from the stolen lands in the river kingdoms. Just imagine, coming from nowhere and making it all the way to a royal crown in just a few years. Sometimes, I wonder what it would happen if I managed to distinguish myself with somehow. But then, push away such unworthiness, selfish thoughts, of course. We don't fight for rewards. The fate of the world is at stake, and yet she still wants it. More loot.
Here we go.
Did I miss that before? More loot. Yeah, I'm not complaining. The looks of it, we're going to need all the money we can find. Oh yeah, the scythe. So you said he has an investment in scythes already. Shaylin. Selective channel, good. Doesn't have any investment that I see. Glaives. Investment in glaives. I thought you said, yeah. I thought you said scythes. My bad. So yeah. Thought we could have given that to him, but
I can handle it.
that's your death knight. Oh boy, there you are. Very good, just in time. You'll be delighted to know I need you for an experiment. So the great garrison stands roofless. Demons are running for the hills with their tails between their legs. Mendev's queen, what's her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Ah yes, Galfrey. It's scurrying to and fro, and all this somehow connected to you, my loyal follower. Thus far, there's no scientific evidence of your exceptionality, if one discounts blind faith in divine intervention, which I do. We, people of science, refuse to believe in the inexplicable without any proof. We're the ones who explain the inexplicable. And therefore, open your mouth and say ah for me. Open your mouth. Alright, your throat's fine. Tongue looks perfectly normal. Your breath. Smell is in line with the regular functioning of the digestive system. Now for your teeth. No detectable alterations. By the way, did you know that many individuals, while being wholly civilized representatives of their races, still have an amazingly powerful bite? Are you really trying to find correlation between fang length and civility? For the good of science, I look for correlations everywhere and in everything. How can you prove there's no correlation if you don't bother to look for one? If someone gets on my nerves, I can bite hard enough too. Can you? Definitely must test that someday, but not today. Now we're conducting an experiment of a different kind. Moving on. Alright, what do we have next? Ears. Let's check your hearing. Testing. Your hearing is fine. Was fine. But don't worry, it's scientifically proven that it should return to normal soon. Next, eyes are clear, posture is satisfactory, limb length is standard, no lice. Boy, you sure are the picture of health. It's a pity. I was expecting to find some anomaly. Well, now let's assess your mental state. You're going full multi-class. Imagine a hypothetical situation. You are a tree. 2 squirrels have found their way into your hollow and are now copulating there. What do you do? What is this nonsense? This nonsense, as you call it, is a unique methodology for detecting secret tendencies hidden in one's subconscious. It was developed by the greatest scientist of modern times. Now let's focus on the task at hand, if you please. I'll let them copulate. Why should I care? An unconscious act of good, allowing 2 lesser creatures to procreate while protecting them during this crucially important process. On to the next question. Another hypothetical situation. You're a tomato. You've just been picked from the vegetable patch and put into a crate. You know that today the cook will use half of the tomatoes from your crate to make soup. What do you do? There's nothing I can do. I'm a tomato, remember? An unconscious act of withdrawal, inability or unwillingness to see something bigger behind something small. All right, I understand. Your angelic mercy speaks for itself. Your behavioral pattern definitely shows an inclination towards angels. On that note, I deem this experiment complete. Thank you for your participation. And yet, you remain a puzzle to me. I love puzzles. One of these days, I'll love to solve you completely, unless I forget. Okay. Ember. Ember is bobbing her head and humming a tune. She greets you with a carefree, cheerful smile. Her wondering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off again into the distance. How are you handling your new abilities?
Abilities? What are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned when the big gray house blew up. They're funny. Thanks for teaching them to me.
The Queen gave me the title of Knight Commander and put me in charge of an army. What do you think about that? The elf focuses her wondering gaze on your eyes, smiles, and shakes her head. Don't believe in titles.
Don't believe in titles. All of us in the world are children of the secret. Barefoot, hungry, scared, a step away from death. Some imagine they're strong and rich like gods, but don't forget who you really are behind the title. So go.
The elf watches you with a radiant smile as you leave. She's creepy, yet charming.
Can't make the demons wait.
Hawkblade. Commander, let me personally congratulate you on your new title and thank you for your time in advance. I'm Leoter Hawkblade, an Inquisitor of the Church of Iomade, the Bringer of Light, and I require your assistance in a certain delicate matter involving one of your companions, Count Darren Arende. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church of Iomade in an investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the Crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to. But please, allow me to tell you the details. Perhaps it'll explain why I'm calling upon you. I suppose that you already have heard about Count Arende's story. I refer to the tragedy of Heaven's Gate. You're going to invest this old case, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of what actually happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident, and I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember it clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of old Mendev before the world wound. Yet, on that day, it turned into a labyrinthine house of horrors. Like something only seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seems odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with a newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send to Canabras for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? We found the demons dead with their heads cut off when we got into the estate. How were they defeated? How did the disease kill even the paladins present at the estate? That's the same question I had. Who are said to be immune to any disease. The demons have found a way to penetrate the Holy Warrior's defenses. Why has this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You're the only person who can help me here, Commander. As only living witness of those events is currently serving in your army. Your army's route will take us near the very site of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned and sealed with potent magic throughout all these years. And only the Count has the power to break that seal. He is unlikely to invite an Inquisitor inside. In any case, he won't like me sniffing around his family seat. But if you, as his commander, express your wish to visit the estate, he will be obliged to fulfill it. And I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 paths, a myriad of loopholes in human lives that the forces of evil can use to their advantage. I'm not sure which of those led the demons to the gates of Heaven's Edge. But I know it wasn't a simple raid. The kind Crusaders face it every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful entity. And that's why I'm asking for your help. We cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until we uncover the truth. We already know what happens at Heaven's Edge. You have already been to the estate several times. What do you expect to find now? I was a young and inexperienced Inquisitor when I first visited Heaven's Edge 10 years ago. My skills have improved significantly since then, and I've paid dearly for that. My arsenal includes many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them require me to be physically present in the place where the event in question happened. That's why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Why can't you just search it yourself? The estate is abandoned and sealed with powerful containment enchantments that only the Count himself can lift. This is not the main reason, however. The main reason is that Count Arendays is not officially under investigation by the Inquisition. So I couldn't just break into his house, even if I found a way to bypass the spells. This is a serious matter. A matter that threatens the reputation of the entire Church of Iomade, and my own organization in particular. We made more than enough unforgivable mistakes during the Third Crusade, and they're still dealing with their consequences. Your presence will give my investigation the necessary legitimacy, Commander. But there is more. In addition to getting official permission, I'd also like to bring an independent third-party investigator to the case. Someone independent but well-respected. And you fit this role perfectly. Did you question Darren himself? I did. But the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about the incident due to severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning when they appeared at the celebration to announce the onset of the plague and mock their victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Selena. That was all he would tell me. He had found the young Count sleeping like a log on the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk about half the family's wine cellar all by himself. There's no reason to disbelieve him on that matter. So you suspect Darren is hiding something, that he's to blame for the tragedy. I deliberately refuse to entertain any theories or suspicions so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There's a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that Count Arenday wasn't suffering from demonic possession, the most common malaise in our country at the time. Prelate Helren himself examined the boy right after the tragedy. He didn't sense anything awry with him. Okay, we'll help. Thank you, Commander. Now I ask that you speak to the Count and tell him you wish to see Heaven's Edge. Please do not inform him of my presence right away. I will join your escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I'll also require your help during the investigation. You will have me follow, observing my actions as an independent witness. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me. I'll remain here for a while. I am Ulfin by birth, but I've lived in Mendev most of my life, dedicating myself to the service of the Inheritor. Our warrior brethren mostly worship Gorum, but I've never been eager to fight for the sake of battle alone. I was a good fighter in my early youth and could easily best most of my peers, but I didn't enjoy showing off my skills. Victory is bland on its own. Purpose adds flavor to war. I can't say that I've always been faithful sword of Iomade. Back in my mercenary days, fate brought me to the borders of Mendev, where I spent quite a long time among the Crusaders, fighting shoulder to shoulder with my righteous comrades in arms, and watching demons commit their atrocities eventually led me to something I'd been seeking my whole life, purpose and faith. That's how I found my calling. Even though it may be hard at times, I've never regretted my decision. Are you one of Prelate Holren's followers? Yes, of course. What's your opinion on his atrocities? Usually people reveal such things about themselves only to their confessor, not to some curious stranger. Still, I did ask for your help, and that imposes certain obligations upon me. Let me put it like this. I spent enough years by Prelate Holren's side to learn how to keep him from going over the line. You failed. He was an extraordinary man, the vengeful sword of our goddess in human form. He was fighting in the vanguard, fearlessly taking down demons, exposing the cultist plots all by himself. He had served the Inquisition twice as long as I have, and eventually, his own paranoia and monumental sense of responsibility eroded his mind. May Iomade guard his soul. I have a feeling we're going to butt heads with him later on down the road. We get more loot in here too? We do. Wow. Sort of. Glowing croissant recipe. All right. Sweet. Here. Sozio.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you, and how could you possibly be of use to my army?
My name is Sozio Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though.
As he sits there painting.
Our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy. I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
What are you painting? The cleric's eyes linger mournfully on the canvas. The unfinished painting depicts a temple crowned with a rainbow-tailed bird, the symbol of Shaylin. 5 people dressed in robes stand before the temple. Men and women, young and old, they all gaze back at you with radiant happiness and joy in their serene eyes.
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help, and then they saved my life, Commander. If the Prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on her way to Nerosian, and hurriedly returned to Canabris, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple.
Okay.
I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
I mean, we're getting a little close to the good side instead of staying chaotic neutral. This is why you have to treasure every moment you spend with the ones you love. Today you're together, but who knows what tomorrow may bring.
You're right. I took their company for granted and never even imagined that they might just disappear in the blink of an eye. So many words left unspoken. Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
The good side is the best side. They have blue and purple lightsabers. Don't forget green. Okay? Green is the best kind. Blue's a close second, though. What made an artist enlist in the army?
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time. My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces. But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying. My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
You want to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabris behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful. You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
Beautiful.
All right, Darren. There you are. So how do you like your new role advisor? You also enjoy poking me with that stick, don't you? Imagine it, me, a crusader. My dearest cousin hoped to teach me a lesson. She managed it perfectly. An assignment I couldn't avoid without losing face. This idiotic journey leading straight into the demon's maws. Could have been on a pleasure boat right now, with the loveliest songstress and Patax on my arm, and a bottle of the finest Kaonan wine to keep us company. Did you also receive a fraction of that unusual power? Looks like it. I genuinely hoped that getting away from you would be the end of it. If your gift truly did come from Iomade, and giving me a smidgen of that power is a very subtle joke on her part. I had no idea that our divine Lightbringer of Mendev even had a sense of humor. Don't get me started on my many acts of sacrilege against her. That obscene engraving, the truth about the test of the Starstone, is the tamest one by far. I'd love to visit Heaven's Edge and see the Arende's estate someday. Oh, I was just about to mention it myself. I've been thinking, Now that I'm in the middle of this whole Crusade nonsense, I simply must devise new ways to have fun. With all the recent commotion, my birthday completely slipped my mind. What if we were to celebrate it at Heaven's Edge? It's not far from here, and you'll get to enjoy a banquet and a bona fide haunted house. Since you're my superior and I'm your advisor, I'm obliged to ask your permission to leave for the festivities, and I want to invite you too. I'm sure the commander can free up an afternoon while the soldiers are on leave. Are you really going to throw a banquet at the very place where your whole family died? Yes, what of it? Am I supposed to weep and quake with fear for the rest of my life? I've stayed away from the damn place for 10 years, and now I'm going to return to there to drink, dance, and be merry without a care in the world. You can keep your squeamish disapproval to yourself. Alright, deal. Perfect. You'll have a ball. I'll make sure of it. Okay. Lauren. I congratulate you on the new rank, Commander. My hunt demanded that I travel with your army. Naturally, I wouldn't burden your forces with the need to care for an outsider. I provided myself with all the necessities. Good fortune. This is his apprentice. Okay.
Let's see what we can do.
Sela.
Hello. So, what do you reckon about everything that's come crashing down on us? All the responsibility, command, this new power?
Haven't figured it out yet. We'll see what happens next.
Watching and waiting is a good strategy. Probably. I'm still frightened by what happened in the Grey Garrison. Were we really chosen? By Iomade herself?
Chosen by something or someone.
You know, back when I was a snot-nosed kid who just started down the path to becoming a paladin, I imagined once or twice that I was going to do something heroic. The lights would shine down on me, the trumpets would sing, I'd hear the voice of the goddess, or at least her herald, you know? I'd be informed that I had been chosen for a great cause. But that's the point where my imagination always failed me. Somehow, it really happened. Without all the trumpets or the herald or even anyone explaining what I had to do. Though it's clear as day, my place is here, in this demon-ridden wound. Quite a lovely war going on, in fact. Endless, I hear. I'm gonna need some time to wrap my head around this. Spare me an hour and I'll crawl into some dark corner and whine about my hard lot. What can I tell you? I cry easily.
So she's a crybaby. Got it.
Here we go.
Hey, Junior Mafia. Jaina? Lan. What do you think what happened? Think of what happened in the Grey Garrison. Did you feel a change in yourself? It's hard not to notice when the demons start running away from you like a flock of frightened bats. Powers granted by Aomade to defeat demons. Since I was a kid, I've taken whatever I've been given and used it as best I can. Anything goes when you're trying to survive. It doesn't matter where your blessings come from. We can think about that when we're old, if we live that long. But you know, this time, I'm not even so sure. A divine power that just happens out of nowhere, sooner or later, we'll have to pay for it. I'd like to know what the price will be. Very pragmatic. You've earned the title of Commander. Canabra still stands to thank you. Still stands thanks to you. You'll have to be doubly on your guard. Your Eminence places a target on your back, and there are assassins about. Killing a high-rank crusader would bring a demon far more prestige than killing a common soldier. Not long ago, I stymied a few of the Spinner of Nightmares' attempts on the lives of influential crusaders, so I know what I'm talking about. Which crusaders did you save? I've been hunting the Spinner of Nightmares for over a year. My agents, by that time, I'd created a proper network, reported to me that she'd returned to Neosean. I immediately suspected she was planning a great atrocity. By that time, I learned all too well that the Spinner was a master of illusions and charms. That's why I never left the house without this. Killer takes a monocle from his pocket and puts it on him carefully. This is the Eye of Truth. It allows me to see through illusions. My friend got it from the priest of Nethys. However, neither this monocle nor my network of agents were adequate to prevent the attacks, and we were nearly too late. The Spinner of Nightmares decided to strike the cruciform cathedral. They had gathered to celebrate the victory of the First Crusade. It was a great holiday, and there was a lavish ceremony at the cathedral. An influential priest, Anthocletus, was in charge of the festivities. They were intending to crown him with a tiara, a symbol of his high status. But the sacred tiara had been replaced. The Spinner had obtained an Catullus, a sentient and rather ominous cephalopod from the other end of the world. She raised it from an elver and trained it carefully, and she cast an illusion on it so that everyone could see it as a tiara. The moment its shell was placed on Anthocletus' heads, the cephalopod would release its tentacles and penetrate the priest's skull. Its poison would seep into his brain. Thank you. Fortunately, we were able to stop this madness in time. I spotted the Spinner of Nightmares in the crowd, chased her down, and we ended up crossing swords on the roof of the cathedral. I nearly defeated her, but she fled upon a giant stallion, which was able to run across the air as if it were on the ground. I was so close to catching her. She'd suffered a setback, but I let her escape. Okay. More loot.
I can handle it.
What do you think of the powers you received from me? People of noble descent grow accustomed to ample opportunity. The powers I received from you are useful, but I see no point in treating them with excessive piety.
Can't make the demons wait.
There you are. I've been waiting. As you see, I've too joined the Crusade. I don't know how to swing a sword, but war is costly, and I have money. Besides, my intellect and business sense may prove useful even on the battlefield. Besides, I believe I owe you an apology. The way I behaved was rude, ill-mannered. You're an honest and honorable person. You have clawed your way up from the bottom of society to the title of Knight Commander, and you are friends with Queen Galfrey herself. Such persistence deserves respect. Allow me to give you this magic amulet from my humble personal treasury to mark our future cooperation. We'll do this just to gray it out, but I don't need to hear his entire story again. What was it like to live your entire life under someone else's name? When I was a boy, I used to hate Horgus. Condescension most of all. Pity on his face, his smile when he called me to join him in his games. The difference in our birthright wasn't fair. Envy clouded my mind. When the demons killed him and not me, I thought it was a gift of fate. I seized my good fortune with both hands and never let go. When I told them my name was Horgus Gwyrm, the only heir to the fast fortune of the Gwyrm family, on that day, life was fair. Yeah, it's the same thing we saw when we were in his house. Yeah. Why have you decided to support the Crusades now? With all due respect, that's none of your business. I have my reasons. Perhaps I felt a rush of patriotism when Canabras was destroyed. Anyway, why would you think I never supported the Crusaders? Perhaps I simply don't like to brag about my donations. Ostentatious charity only attracts beggars. I'd wager that Irabeth has no idea whose money she's spending on drinks and supplies. Why did you hide the fact that Camilla is your daughter? Didn't I tell you that at the mansion? It's because her mother Iris was a lowly half-elf who looked after my garden. I always wanted to join the Gwyrm name with another noble family. The Gwyrm legacy must not be mixed with common blood and vanish into a... You're a commoner yourself, you dickhead. Iris didn't mind, and we managed to hide our relationship. When Camilla was born, I did not claim her as my own. While of Mendev, Camilla is the daughter of a lowly servant who died over a decade ago. How did her mother die? I'm not going to tell you about that. Some things need to remain private. What can you tell me about Count Darren Arendare? The nobles of Canabras should be acquainted with each other, shouldn't they? He's a brilliant young man with a brilliant pedigree. And that story of his... The nobility is the glue that keeps our society together. I suppose that's why demons so often choose their estates as primary targets. Who would notice the demons' bloody massacres if they only slaughtered poor country folk? What a dickhead. The Arendare family shared the tragic plight of the Gwyrms, along with many other members of the nobility. They fell victim to a treacherous attack during a major celebration taking place at the family estate. I hadn't received an invitation and was highly insulted by this snub, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The gods saved me from a terrible fate. All the guests died that day from a magical, demonic plague. I sympathize with the Count deeply. He has endured so much, and it's no wonder he keeps himself aloof from me. I think this is due to the fact that Horgus Gwyrm's fate so resembles his own, and that we both have to relive those horrible memories whenever we see each other. What do you think of my new powers? Mean what you did back there? I have a few ideas. Send you to Patak's underground arena to fight. Give you a scary name like Swift Sting or something like that. Give you a great cover story. Enemies burn down your house. You're avenging your dead family. The public eats that stuff up. You wear a shiny, eye-catching outfit, or one black one, or a black one if you like black better. We'll split the prize money. 60-40. 60 for me, of course. You know, arranging fights isn't as easy. Those people are tough. I'll be taking more risk than you. After we get set up in Patax, we'll tour different cities, making some real money. What? You don't like the sound of it? You have any other suggestions? I got one more. Have you heard of Razmaran? It's some land in the River Kingdoms ruled by King Razmir. A friend of mine used to live in Razmaran. He got out of there as fast as he could. Long story short, this King Razmir of theirs is a god. Keeps his people under his heel. They're all terrified of what he might do. He sits on his throne wearing some white mask, giving power to anyone. Come and take power from me, he says, so long as you believe in me. But that friend of mine, the one who fled, has a half-sister on his old man's side, who's a cook in the castle, and a washerwoman who the cook plays cards with in the evenings told her a juicy rumor. Word is, Razmir isn't a real god at all. He's got no powers. So here's my point. You do have powers. Pretty scary ones, too. You find some shabby little kingdom. Start some rumors. You'll show off your few tricks to wow the locals, and that's it. We'll make you a deity. But first, I want you to put it in writing that I'll be your chief advisor. I'm not doing anything just on the nod. I've been there. People promise you mountains of gold, and when it comes to it, they're all get lost, and I'll set the dogs on you. It's a great idea. We'll get to work on it just as soon as we're out of this mess. I'm going to make you such a legend. You'll love it. A survivor in Canabras becomes a god. We'll make you a cult that'll put Iomedes to shame. In the meantime, you can think about what you want on your coins and my insurance. Don't forget to write the declaration making me your chief advisor. Oh. This guy. All right, nothing really good. 1825 is what he buys that for. What? I saw you talking to the girl hiding her face. Who was she and what did she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself. But I bet she's not part of our army. I know all our soldiers by name and sight. She was looking for some elf volunteer. Wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from Mendev. She definitely wasn't one of us. But now I see how it looks all mighty shifty. She was some sort of spy then. That's the same price. Ooh, that's a nice one for Ember. don't think she benefits from natural armor. Let's see. She does. Okay. Blacksmith.
Beautiful.
Okay. Field medic, I'm not sure if we went in there or not. We did.
Let's see what we can do.
How can I help? There's much I can do, and just ask. Probably heard about the wound I have, the one that sometimes opens on my chest. Can you perhaps tell me if it's some kind of demonic curse? Yes, indeed. I've been told of your affliction. Can you will the wound to open? No, that's a shame. What can you tell me about the wound? It's difficult to say. I know of blades that leave never healing cuts, of poisons that stop wounds from healing. I heard of witches' curses that are rewarded with eternal wounds, but wounds that seem to reopen and heal over and over. Perhaps you know of other cases like this? Let's think. In 4671, a Mendevian army corporal had all his bones and cartilage turned to glass. 4700, a scribe of Canabras had all her skin simply come away like she'd been boiled. 4638, oh, you don't happen to have insects crawling over you. Locusts? No. Rats, perhaps? Too bad. Do you think it's dangerous? It is most likely dangerous, but you're under the protection of Iomedes, Commander. She granted you mythic power, as they say. Surely the Inheritor would not leave you to face this alone. Have you perhaps noticed that the wound opens at moments when you waver in your faith? Perhaps it's triggered by doubt. It's from Isgar. Sorry, I'm just reading through this while I'm eating my lunch. Tell me about the Fourth Crusade. Of course, the demons had no intention of sitting quietly caged behind the ward stones. They kept attacking Canabras, trying to reach the stone and destroy it, or just scratch its surface. Or even if that wasn't possible, foul it. The Crusaders drove the demons away from the city again and again. The Fourth Crusade would last for 15 years, an exhausting study in positional warfare. The demons attacked, and they were pushed back. The Crusaders went on the offensive, but were forced to retreat. All the while, the losses were tremendous. The Fourth Crusade's only achievement was that they didn't let a single wardstone fall. They didn't retake a sliver of land, to say nothing of Dresden. So many lives just to maintain the stalemate. You can imagine how that affected morale. Okay, I think that's everything here. Make sure we talked to everyone. Yes, we did. So, what next? We have to do something in the tent.
Here we go.
Nope. So I assume we exit this way. Oh, looks like there's loot over here we missed.
Is that a trap?
Damn. Okay. Exit the area. I'm fine with my party. I'm digging it. Okay. You can now control armies on the global map. Winning battles against demon forces will provide you with a number of benefits, such as resources to help your economy, relics which can be turned into powerful new items for your party. Captured enemy fortifications that previous blocked the advance of both your party and your armies. These fortifications can be rebuilt into forts for your own troops. Enemy armies differ in their strength, which is displayed as a number next to the army's name. By hovering over the enemy army, you can learn more about its composition and the reward it's guarding. Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay, okay. Yes. Let's go with 50. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. You defeated your first enemy army and received a number of finance points. You can use these finance points to hire a general for your army. Generals cannot be killed. Okay. Can I not have more than one general? We're in a bad spot here. Should have grabbed some archers to bolster the ranks. Jesus. Archers in large numbers are OP. No movement points left. Okay. Needs Soziel. Eh. How unfair. They were all so young. They had their whole lives ahead of them. They sacrificed themselves, and an old cripple like me still lives. The painting, it burned like everything else in the house. There's nothing left for me to remember you by. Nothing. A young man throws a handful of soil into the open grave and stands beside it for a while, lost in thought. Finally, he sighs and steps back. Wish you a warm welcome to Shaylin's realm. We will win this war, I swear to you. We will banish this ugliness and evil, make the world richer and let peace blossom from it. We'll make sure anything like this... They're dead. What's the big deal? Soziel is too absorbed in his grief to hear you. The crowd responds with disapproving grumble. What is this? An elven woman shrieks in horror, disrupting the atmosphere of silent mourning. Her trembling hand points at something moving inside a grave. Suddenly, a corpse climbs out of the ground, wafting a horrible stench in its rotting body. It's a zombie, run! So they just chase after them?
We won't fall here. I swear it. You won't survive me.
Wait. What? How did that undo damage to them?
I got this.
The light. Take you.
So they're just coming after him.
Fight.
We're all just so bunched up.
Go.
Endure this. Damn you!
Into the fray.
Okay, so they interrupted.
I need your assistance.
Good horse.
Make every strike count.
Beautiful.
Are you still here?
Yes.
Beautiful.
You crossed the wrong mongrel.
Okay. What is this twisted mockery? Who could possibly... Wait, what is this? Take a look at this. Soziel hands off a black onyx gem to you. Once precious, the stone is now covered in cracks, falling apart in your grip. As you examine the engraved Minotaur's head, the unholy symbol of Baphomet, Cleric's voice perplexed at first, filled with rage as he speaks. Cultists, simply murdering my friends was not enough for them. No, they had to come to the funeral and desecrate their graves. Just like some of the townspeople were only feigning their grief. These demon worshippers are everywhere, and now I understand why the Inquisitors of Canabras became so paranoid. Wait, the townspeople fled the undead without knowing they have a traitor among them. Wherever they are, they're in great danger. We must find them.
I can handle it.
Gotta look for the loot.
Can't make the demons wait.
Quick save.
All right.
All right. Thank the gods, and thank you too. I knew this was going to happen someday. They buried me alive. Who are you? Baroness Ninel Ballard at your service. My estate is not too far from here. Let me assure you that all of you are always welcome there, assuming you are properly attired. Hate to break it to you, but you're actually dead. How dare you? What utter foolishness. Do I look like a corpse to you? No. You forget yourself. You should be ashamed to say such things. The dead Baroness wags her finger at you in a chastising manner, but cuts herself short, staring at her own hand in horror. What? How? This simply cannot be. I shan't permit it. Afraid it's true. I'm truly sorry. This graveyard was desecrated by a necromancer. It seems that he disturbed your rest as well. So I died. Even in death, the accursed servants of the Abyss tormented me. Can nothing be done? Perhaps you could lay me to rest. I quite enjoyed my life in this world, but now there's no place for me here. Not in this miserable form. How did you awaken? Do you remember anything? Allow me a moment to think. Seems like it, yes. Indeed, I awoke and I heard a voice. They were reciting poetry or a prayer, perhaps. Suppose they were spells then. Must have been your thrice-damned necromancer. Would you like to pass along any words of comfort to your friends or family while you're here? That good-for-nothing band of hangers-on? Most certainly not, thank you very much. I am reasonably confident that they have already brought my estate to ruin and squandered the fortune I bequeathed them. They will have to do without my missives. Spare us both that indignity and embarrassment. You see, I would still be in the company of those I truly care for, were it not for your discourteous sorcerer and his parlor tricks. Okay. Thank you. Do feel free to take my burial jewelry. Those pieces are dreadfully out of fashion where I'm going anyway. Okay. You said something about jewelry? Come on. You can't tip me with loot and not give it to me. Rude.
The mongrel did it.
Brave Robin, yeah.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
Okay, is it just one zombie lord? Weird. They're immune to slumber.
Good guys always win. Beautiful. Here comes trouble.
And we got a few.
You won't survive me.
Okay, we got a bunch. Okay. You go there.
The Inheritor, guide my blade. Go.
I got this.
Beautiful.
Enjoy this.
God, that mythic feat is amazing on him.
No glory without risk.
Let's see what we can do. Thanks, Lan.
Thanks,
You're
Lan.
so awesome, Lan. Got this one. The mongrel did it.
Oh. Are you just rushing in there, huh?
Here we go.
All you have to do is die in the name of Baphomet. Have faith. You can do it.
To battle, my friends!
Yes, he can. Because he's a moron. Yep, you failed us.
Damn you! Make every strike count.
Nice. Go to sleep. Nice.
The light take you!
Are you still here?
No, he's over there.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Beautiful. That'll do.
Into the fray! Up!
No. Good guys always win. You won't survive me.
In hindsight, using a key point was unnecessary. I surrendered. Stop. I give up. Don't hit me. You damned rat, how dare you? You scumbag, I remember you. You came to our temple begging for healing just a month ago. We fed you. We shared our table with you and took you in. And then you... I don't even know what I'm going to do. Stop it. I surrender. You're a priest of Shaylin. I've surrendered. You have to spare my life. Your goddess demands it. You two know each other? We do. That's Nardi, a tailor's apprentice from Canabras. We healed him after he was mauled by a dog. Then he became a frequent visitor to our temple. He listened attentively to our sermons, studied the goddess's teachings, and praised our art. Were you lying to our faces the whole time when we took you in? When you sat at our table? When we broke bread with you? Were you planning to stab us in the back even then? The whole time. Now you understand part of it. Let's dig into the rest. The cultist curves his bloodied lips into an evil sneer. I was hoping to lure you to our side. It wouldn't have been hard. We're everywhere, even inside you. I think you know it too. We're not like all those pious devotees you pretended to be, and maybe you're fooled yourself, but we both see who you really are. You have that same demonic rage inside you. It's a pity I never had time to kindle it into a devouring flame. But sometimes you have to resort to a backup plan. Having you die at the hands of our dead friends was such a good idea. It was a pity it didn't work. Shut up. Soziel swings his fist, but stops in midair. His clenched fist trembles as he stares at the cultist with an expression of pure hatred. Is he telling the truth? Your religion doesn't allow you to kill him? Yes. The Eternal Rose is known for her grace. She teaches us to show mercy to anyone who asks for it. It's one thing to slay an enemy in battle, but a captive, you must try to save their soul, to show them the beauty of the world, persuade them to abandon the path of evil. It's difficult, but the world is better for it. Do you really believe this? Even this scum deserves a chance at redemption? I don't know. May Shaylin forgive me. I never had to struggle with this burden before. I had no time to try healing the souls of villains. I was always preoccupied with healing the bodies of those hurt by them. Forgive me, Eternal Rose. You teach us to be merciful to our enemies and to love them. But I am too weak, I'm afraid. Grant me the absolution from this sin. For this kind of love is beyond me. Using my playtime as bug hunting on an X bag of tricks, probably a 10th run on various combo classes as something breaks down. What's up, Code? How you doing? Don't listen to him. Hit him some more. No, I am human, not a demon. Let's not succumb to this blind rage. Had absolutely no idea there was so much rage in me. It's a shame, a disgrace. But I must admit that I enjoyed beating him. Forgive me for letting you see me like this. It never should have happened. You're the commander, and he is your captive. It's up to you to decide his fate. I surrender. Here, take everything I've got. Just don't kill me. What do you think I should do to him? I have no right to decide whether he should live or die. You're in charge here. Finish him. Kill him. I can see how much you want to. No. I am weak and sinful, but not to this extent. How would I dare touch the holy symbol of Shaylin again after killing him like this? Admit it. You want him to die, but you don't want to get your hands dirty. That's why you're asking me to take on this responsibility. No, I didn't mean that. It's just, you're right. I want to kill him with your hand. I know that I should ask you to have mercy on him, but I can't. I hope my goddess will forgive me for this transgression. I'll accept any decision you make regarding his fate. He dies. No, please. Listen, I'm not a paladin of Shaylet. I don't give a shit. May the goddess forgive him, for I will not. Thank you for taking this sin upon yourself. It's all right. You're safe now. You should bury the bodies again. This is a place of peace. We must not leave it desecrated like this. The townsfolk are clearly terrified of even looking at the fallen undead. But Soziel's soft words reassure them. As they work together, the graveyard soon regains its tranquil appearance. May the Eternal Rose grant them peace at last. Let's begin on our way. Oh, we got loot to go get. I'm sure there's stuff we missed. Wait. Okay, it's this way.
I can handle it. Can't make the demons wait.
Okay, I guess we don't have loot to get. Wasn't anything left.
Beautiful.